Good evening, everyone. Didn't know what to do a video about today. It's so cold out. It feels colder than what they're saying because of the wind chill, but I want to give a shout out to the Angry Prepper. AP, you're in our prayers, brother. I'm so sorry for your loss, but please don't blame yourself. People, there's so much going on, and we have kids that are on, well, my daughter, 33, gonna be 34 this year, has been battling drug and alcohol addictions since she was in her teens. I've had her to counseling, in and out of counseling. I've had her in and out of rehab. I mean, there was times you take them to counseling, they know they have mental health issues. They suffer from depression. She has ADHD. She's bipolar. She's actually been on medication since she's been 6 months old because of UTI infections. Whether that increased her chances of being a drug addict, I don't know. But anyway, we do not speak. I was raising her two littlest angels because the drugs were more important than the girls. But again, when she's clean, she's a hard-working person. She has a heart of gold. But then the drugs. And the guys, and not just putting on all guys, but they just take advantage of her, and they used her for her money. But she has to learn to take responsibility for herself. I did have to kick her out when she was 21 because I just couldn't deal with it anymore. Trying to work and barely making ends meet is hard. Being a single parent and then dealing with your child who's going to kill herself. She's overdosed more than a cat has lives. She's a beautiful young lady, and I pray for her every day. I do have to love her from a distance. And she has stolen from me. I consider myself, I was an enabler because I would bail her out all her problems. I was always trying to protect her as a mother would. But you can only do so much. The last time I seen her was at my uncle's funeral 2 years ago. And she did actually talk to me for the first time in 5 years. But we do not talk. She doesn't have my number. I don't have hers. I go through her father for any information to check on her to see if she's still alive. I'm still waiting one day to get that call, and I pray it never comes. She has been in more accidents and walked away without a scratch. But anyway, just please keep praying for our children. I love you all. If you need to talk to somebody, reach out. I know you can be in a dark place. I've been there. And a lot of you don't know. I overdosed on my senior trip. I just had a rough childhood, and I was just tired of it all. And when I got out of the house, I didn't try to overdose, but I was just sick of dealing with life myself. But luckily, there was an accident on the highway on the way from my school trip, and they saved me, brought me back. And then there's 3-4 years later, maybe longer, and I was 28, 29. I was waitressing. My youngest daughter at the time, was 4. And I come home from work sitting and crying because, trust me, waitressing is not easy. One table can have you in tears for the rest of the night. That I was on anxiety medication, and I drank beer. And I had all my pills lined up on the table, my beer sitting beside me. And I'm thinking to myself, all I have to do is take all these pills and drink this beer, and I can go to sleep. But then a little voice came in my head and said, Penny, if you do this, Your 4-year-old daughter is going to wake up and find you here. And I didn't want that. So I put my pills away, dumped my bottle of beer down the drain, and went to bed. And I do suffer from depression and anxiety. I've come a long, long way. So I know the struggle is real. I know we all battle. But I stopped blaming myself for my daughter's situation. She has been filled with the Holy Spirit. She has been baptized more than once. One she did on her own when she was clean. And again, she has 2 beautiful girls that she still has a chance to see if she would get clean and sober. But the rehab places, they take them. They're allowed to walk out. The counseling, you can take them to counseling. But if they miss 2 appointments, now knowing your child suffers from depression and mental health issues, their moods are like Jekyll and Hyde. So when you wake them up in the morning to go to an appointment and they tell you to get the F out of the room and blah, 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 and they're not going, and then the doctors will not see them again. If there's 2 no calls, 2 no-shows, the counseling people won't take them back, which I don't understand when they already know they have mental health issues. And maybe I'm rambling on. But please, if you have any thoughts, you're in that darkest place, please call out. Call somebody. I lost a nephew in his 20s. Him and my youngest daughter are actually best friends, 6 months apart. Took his own life because he couldn't deal with it anymore. He was in and out of rehab for many years. He was in his early 20s. I've lost one of my cousins who fought in Afghanistan. He came back from there. He was a mess. Good-looking boy. I still miss him. But he was drinking and driving from dealing with all the PTSD. Got into an accident, ended up in a wheelchair. Was in the wheelchair maybe 4 or 5 years. And one of his brothers found him about a week later when they didn't hear from him. He had also taken his own life. I have another cousin who took her life from a heroin overdose because she couldn't deal with life anymore. And that's not the only one that I've lost due to an overdose. So I'm just saying, if you need help, reach out. We all get in that place, but we have to get out. It's a hard climb up once you get that low. And yeah, you talk to people and you put on a brave face. I know how it works. So nobody knows what's going on. You show people what they want to see, not how you're really feeling. That way nobody questions you, nobody bothers you. So anyway, AP, if you do see this, please don't blame yourself. I hear you, brother. I love you. I'm with you. God bless you all. Have a good night.